Yeah, this is going to be a fun list to edit. Because I don't have to find any information, I just have to find a picture.
A picture?
Yep.
I can send you pictures.
Mm. Hey everybody, welcome to the Dice Tower. I'm Sam.
I'm JT.
And this is our bottom five. That is to say our numbers 10 through 6. We're still getting comments about how we love misleading titles.
That's all right.
Anyway, this is our
bank.
bottom five, numbers 10 through 6, board game accessories. Now, what is a board game accessory? He actually asked that question.
Yeah, that's a tough one for me, actually.
Yeah, well, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, that and about $5 will get you a cup of coffee. A board game accessory can be anything from something like a board game table all the way down to like the component trays that you can buy on Etsy, or I'm sorry, Etsy, or like plastic bags can be a board game accessory. So
There you go.
anything in between.
Don't give away my entire list.
Well, let me see. What other?
Just kidding.
I ordered my lists in a financial practicality order. So my number one is going to be super inexpensive.
Okay.
Not necessarily the cheapest.
All right.
I just think the amount of bang that you get for your buck for my number one is pretty freaking high.
Sweet.
The amount of bang for your buck that you get for my number 10,
All right.
yeah, you're going to have to think twice. There might be some sticker shock involved. Anyway, anything that spruces or spices up your hobby can be considered a board game accessory. You can buy them anywhere. It's not stuff that you buy in a board game store necessarily. We're talking you can buy this on Temu. You can buy this
Or a Hobby Lobby.
if you want a little miniature version of it, or if you want a Hobby Lobby or like the dollar store, any place that you find something that says, wow, I think I could use that to help do this while we play board games or something like that. That's what a board game accessory is. All right? So this is our bottom five, numbers 10 through 6. Let's hit it. So my number 10 is an actual game table or a game topper. That's what we're using here, but there's a number of different companies that are out there that produce or make available game tables from the floor up, or just game toppers, things that you can sit on top of a normal table. And I'm putting all of these different company logos up here on the screen to show you that there are a lot of them out there. So based on your financial ability, if you're a board game hobbyist, it would be worth your while to at least look into it. Do you need it? No.
Yes.
He actually made his own.
I did.
So that's
They're still
another
not
thing.
cheap, even when you make your own.
Well, yeah, especially with price of lumber skyrocketing a couple years ago.
I built mine before lumber went anywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I bought that $180 mat. But the whole thing together was like $700.
Sure.
Just the material.
That's not cheap.
So
It's not cheap, but it is very, very nice. It's a very cool thing to have. If you can make your own, that's probably your best option as far as financial culpability is concerned. However,
some of these are getting fairly decent price, though.
yes. So I would do everything, look into it at the very least, because I think you'll find that you'll be able to find something that is within your reach. Maybe you'll have to save up for a while before you can get it, but it's worth it if you're a board game hobbyist. If you just have people over to your house once or twice a year, yeah, probably you don't want to go to this route, your first option.
Yep.
But this is a great board game accessory. Game tables or game toppers, awesome. That's my number 10.
All right, I suppose that's all right. My number 10 is a little bit different one, but it's one that I really love, actually. And that is having stat dice available for you when you play games. Especially
Stacked dice?
Stat. S-T-A-T.
Oh, stat dice. Okay.
Especially when you play living card games or games where you're adding and subtracting numbers. So I buy these little 6-sided dice that are positive 1 through 6, and then there's dice that are negative 1 through 6.
Really?
So, yeah, and then you can just, as you're playing cards or whatever, if you put a +5 on that, when you go to add your stuff back up or whatever else, you know, you're just looking at the top of all those dice, pluses, minuses, and boom. Yep. It really makes housekeeping on when you're adding and subtracting a bunch of things, it makes it super quick. And $10-12, you can buy a set of like 24 of them, where 12 of them are positives and 12 of them are negatives, and you're set. And you're good to go.
Yeah.
So stat dice are a really cool thing.
Never even thought about that, because I guess I just don't play those kinds of games enough.
It's the TCGs that really make them shine. But then every game, every once in a while, I'm like, hey, this is a great time to pull those out. So
that's a cool idea. That's actually a really good pick.
That's my number 10.
I'm
stat
shocked.
Dice.
I'm absolutely shocked
that I had a good one. All right.
All right, my number 9. Again, now we're going downwards in financial culpability or ability. I don't know if culpability is the right word. I keep using that word. It sounds great. I love saying that word. I just don't know if it's the right word. Anyway, somebody out there will let me know. Especially on the Dice Tower. Somebody's going to let me know if I'm wrong. So here's this one. This one is one that I don't actually own. I think everything else on this list I own in one way, shape, or form. But this is the one that I haven't pulled the trigger on because it intimidates me a lot, actually. And I don't know exactly why. However, I know a lot of people that use this to super boost their board game things. And that is a 3D printer. A 3D printer is something that it's super on my want list, but I just haven't pulled the trigger for it. Well, number one, I don't really know where I would put it because...
You want to buy one?
Please, probably. Are you selling yours?
I might.
Why?
Because I want a bigger one. I almost pulled the trigger on it last week.
No, okay. Well, maybe I might be buying one of these sooner than I was thinking. But 3D printers really do give you a lot of freedom to spruce up or liven up your board games because you can print almost any kind of component with all of the files, the STL files that are out there. You have so much freedom to print upgraded components for all of your games. You don't have to buy them from the company or from some other source. You can just pay for the filament and make your own, and usually...
super cheap per piece.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's super cheap per piece. Yeah. So you can make a lot with just the first batch of filament. Now, I'm speaking from once removed experience. Yeah. And people say that you can print a lot. There are shops that offer this to their customers as a way to make money. So if a shop is making money doing this, that means that you can probably purchase a 3D printer and some filament, and it'll be cheaper for you in the long run. I just think it's a great idea. It's not technically a board game accessory. It is just a life accessory, but it's definitely one that you can use in your board game hobby to spruce in or lifen it up a bit. So that's my number 9, a 3D printer.
We played No Thanks some on this weekend.
Yeah.
For Christmas weekend. And I came home and printed up 7 little cups, 7 little shot glasses for No Thanks. Now they're in the box, so now you have your little container holder. Just like that. Boom.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I thought you made it
turned
it into a drinking game. I was like, you put shot glasses in, no thanks, huh?
So you can hold your little tokens so nobody can count your tokens.
Okay. All right, that's cool. That's cool.
All right. My number 9 is something that I don't use as much as I should, and I have plenty of them, and I always am like, I just need to pull those out, especially for other reasons, or dice trays. Dice trays really are so simple, so easy. So you put a dice tray down, somebody rolls, they don't wipe out half the board, they don't move the stack of cards, they don't, dice don't go flying everywhere. Dice trays are so easy. They're just And there's a lot of those with the buttons or the Velcros in the corner.
Yes.
You just put it together. You put it flat in a drawer or whatever. But then you just snap it together and you can roll dice. Keep everything contained, easy to see. No tilts and tips and all that kind of stuff. Dice trays really are a very nice quality of life while you're playing a game accessory.
Especially if they're small enough to where everybody can have their own.
Yeah.
But you don't have to go that way. You don't have to go that route. You can have a big one that everybody passes around.
Yeah, and they have like the ones that are like 9 inches, but like I'm trying to think. I just had a game not too long ago that came with like little 4-inch ones, and those are pretty good. Unless you're rolling a whole boatload of dice, but dice trays are really nice to have, and they save your game state for sure.
Yes, that dice tsunami is a real thing.
It's a real thing, especially when you're playing with him.
I like rolling dice. Get a little excited whenever I do, so that's the way it goes.
Yep.
My number 8, and again, we're going down in price, but this one is pretty much still a considerable cost amount, in my opinion, because usually to get a good one of these from a company that makes them, sometimes it can cost just as much as the game itself. So you're paying for the game again, just so that you can have, my number 8, a storage insert or a box insert or a custom box insert. Now, that's if you buy it from a company or from a company that makes them. You can also do them on your own. There are probably, again, just like the STL files from the 3D printers, there are a number of people out there that have designed and have uploaded their storage solutions that they've made for XYZ games, and you can download them and use them and make them out of foam core. And foam core, you can buy it at a Hobby Lobby or whatever your hobby store is for pretty cheap. Just a couple of, a hot glue gun maybe. I don't even think you have to use hot glue. You can just use like super glue with foam core or Elmer's glue.
Yep.
Maybe an X-Acto knife and a cutting board. And you're ready to go making your own stuff just using somebody else's template. You just have to follow their instructions. I think this is one of the more practical but can be expensive ways that you can really accessorize your board game collection, because on one side, it's going to help you set up games a lot faster. A good insert will do that. It will help you set up the game faster, and it will help you tear down the game faster.
Way faster.
Yes.
Way faster.
But on top of that, it's also going to keep all of those components safe while you're storing them, because often they're made to fit the exact dimensions of the box, so there's not going to be any loose room in there for your components to slip and slide around and all of that kind of stuff. So this is a great addition or accessory to your board game hobby for those 2 or 3 reasons, really. And it can be expensive, but it doesn't have to be expensive if you put a little bit of elbow grease into it. So that's my number 8, storage inserts.
That's a true statement. If you're going to buy somebody's, like, whatever, if you're going to buy some special manufacturers, I always look at, and I don't buy them anymore because I have the 3D printer.
Right.
But I don't. None. Zero. They're not worth it.
Yep.
But if you buy them, and there's expansions and stuff like that, you got to be careful if you're buying it. There's a lot of those that they do the base game, but then you can't get the expansion in there.
Especially if the expansion came out after or considerably later after the base game did.
That's always tricky, because there's a lot of boxes if you just pull out the plastic in there and you can fit everything in there at least. So, but that's kind of you have to choose your poison there.
Sure, absolutely.
All right. We're on number 8? Mm-hmm. Yeah, my number 8 is a nice bag. Now, I have a couple of these at my house, but there's so many games where you're randomizing something, or you're pulling something, or you're setting up a board and you need to randomize stuff. Just having a nice felt bag that you can throw all that kind of component in, randomize it out without doing this on the table and whatever else. The nice bags are just very nice for a lot of different reasons.
Yep.
If you just have a nice felt bag around with you that's a decent size, you will find dozens of games that you're like, hey, pull out the bag, let's use that for this, or for distribution of some part or piece. So just a nice felt bag, or bag of whatever you find. Like I have old Clank bags, and I have old Crown Royal bags. And
Yeah.
No,
That's what I was just thinking about when
but
you
I
were
do.
talking about it.
That's actually the best bag that I have. But yeah, just having that around is super helpful.
Even games like Carcassonne, instead of having that big old tower
You
of
just
tiles,
reach in the bag and grab a stack.
reach in a bag. Yeah, it's
totally.
great. And you can pass that bag around so that they can just, instead of having to reach out.
Yep.
That's a great, it frees up space on your table. That's a great idea. Yeah. My number 7 is also bags, but a different kind of bag.
Made of plastic.
These are game bags.
Oh, gotcha.
Made to actually carry your games around. Now, as with the other ones that I've already said here, you can just go and buy a duffel bag, and that will work well. But there are companies out there that make games that are made for, that make bags rather, that are made for certain size boxes, so that you don't have to play the Tetris game every single time. You just boom, 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 boom. You put in 5 games that are in roughly the same shape and size, and you're ready to go. But I've also used other bags that I have, like with all of the audiovisual equipment that I have in here. I use audiovisual bags also as game bags to carry them from game nights and to different events and so forth. So, but having a way to safely and securely transport your games is an important thing if you are like us, that we go to a lot of events monthly. Like we host, generally speaking, on a regular month, we host 2 game nights every month, and we've got to transport games to those things. And it would be haphazard to just carry a stack of games from the card to wherever we're having these events. Being able to put them in a bag and just carry them with handles is much, much easier.
It's a good idea. I don't have a game bag, but it's definitely a good idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You don't have to buy one of these, $60, $70 game bags from a company. You don't have to do that. You can go and purchase a duffel bag for $25, $30 from, Walmart or whatever, and there you've got it. But some type of transport system for your boxes, for your games. That's what I'm talking about, but I'm giving it the name game bags, my number 7.
Right on. My number 7's a little bit of a cheat, but when you have lots of games, or even when you have a few games, whatever, my number 7 is Calyx shelves. Or a really nice set of shelves.
Nice set of shelves.
And enough shelves to carry what you have. Because there's no end to you go to somebody's top of their closet and stuff's all banged up and beat up and everything else. A nice shelf will maintain the quality of your boxes, maintain the strength, maintain the integrity of the boxes. They won't fall over when they're overloaded. Things like, I think that's the biggest thing about something like a Calyx or something that's sturdy, right? Because there's always the horror stories of, we bought this shelf at IKEA and we put 300 games on it and then it fell over.
Yep.
And those
Anchor. Anchor.
Well,
Calyx needs to be anchored too.
Mine aren't.
Well,
Mine aren't, but they do.
I'm not going to your game room anymore because I'm going to have something fall on me.
No, they're not coming down.
They're not coming down.
They're not coming down. Besides, it's 1,000 pounds on there. But,
Yeah.
And then the thing about it is, don't go to Home Depot and buy cube shelves, or Walmart, or IKEA, or anywhere. Well, no, IKEA is where Calyx comes from.
Yeah.
But don't go buy, hey, there's a cube shelf that'll fit all my games, because most of them are too small for a standard size box. I don't know why only Calyx got the memo.
Because they're Swedish.
But they're smart. Either that or our hobby doesn't really mean that much to most people.
It doesn't.
But most of those other cubes won't hold your normal game boxes.
Yeah, you're right.
And you're going to go buy one and put it in and be like, sweet, doink, and they're not going to fit. So I think that is the craziest thing about all those other ones.
I would also say you're also looking at a huge quality differential between Calyx from IKEA and cube shelves from Walmart.
Yep.
Especially when you're talking about hundreds of pounds of board games that you're going to be putting into them, those cube shelves at Walmart are not made for that.
No.
They're made for knick-knack shelves or maybe small books. They're just not made for hundreds of pounds of board games. So they might easily fall
You got to
apart.
choose the right shelves for you.
Yeah.
But You know, I know a lot of people use like those metal rack shelves and things like that, but
like Baker shelves and stuff.
I think those can do a little bit more damage to your boxes for sure. But maybe that's okay. Boxes get worn out anyways. So.
Yeah, they do. That's a good thing. That's a really good suggestion for an accessory, because you don't really think of shelving units as an accessory, but they absolutely are.
Yeah.
It's not just furniture.
Organization for your house.
Their organizational function.
That's safekeeping for your expensive games.
Yep. That right. Good pick. I've already kind of alluded to this with my number 3, the 3D printer, but I'm specifically
hits every level.
No, it does hit a number of different levels, but this one I'm giving the line of upgraded components. And I'm going to specifically say metal coins, because that's really what I think of first when I think about upgraded components, more often than not. You can get miniatures to replace standees and stuff like that, but that doesn't really work for a large number of games. It will work for games that have standees in them, but that's about it. But if a lot of games have money that are used in them, and when you can replace that stack of paper money with some metal coins, that is very close to being one of the coolest things ever, because I hate paper money. If I can replace that paper money or those cardboard little round tokens that just have a number printed on them, if I can replace any of that with metal coins, especially coins that have the same theme as the game, that's really cool. But that can also get really expensive, because if you're buying a set of coins for this game and a set of coins for that game and a set of coins for that game.
That's the trick, which we've all done that. And even like the Architects of the West Kingdom, the West Kingdom series, for all 3 games, it's the same type of dice, or it's the same type of coins. But I still bought a separate pack for every one because I'm too lazy to go open the other boxes to get a packet. But really, that was completely waste. One of those for all 3 would be totally fine.
Yep, it would.
And you can just grab it. But
there are a lot of companies out there that run Kickstarter campaigns for a number of different theme packs. And so in one place, in one source, you can get a number of different themes.
Pirate die,
metal
or pirate coins, or whatever else.
Doubloons, or medieval whatever. These Viking coins, it's all there. It's all available. And you can do that. Or you can just say, I'm going to buy a set of metal coins, poker chips even. Would be better than a lot of the things that are that are used for currency in games. But my main thing here is upgraded components. And you take that for what it's worth. That's my number 6.
I always say that with poker chips, but then I never want to get my big old thing of poker chips out for stacks of chips all over the table. But it's a good idea. My number 6 is back to, I think I'm a dice guy. Well, I've always been a dice guy. Everybody knows I'm a dice guy. But my number 6 is an extra set of dice. Or multiple extra sets of dice for the games that you play.
Recovering RPGer. Recovering RPGer.
No, I'm not recovering. I'm still collecting those. But no, if you're going to play Cthulhu Death May Die and you have a set of dice for everybody, you're not constant, or Zombicide Black Plague, or there's just so many games where you have a dedicated set of dice that's constantly going around the table. Oh, I need 2 of those. Can I get 1 of those? Can I? Who's got the black dice? I don't know. You know what I mean? So
even if you just have one extra set,
even one,
you can have one on that end of the table and one on this end.
Absolutely huge. So an extra set of dice will just make the convenience of playing with multiple people just that much better.
Absolutely. That's a great pick. Your last one for this segment of the list. So this has been our bottom 5, numbers 10 through 6. Game accessories, board game accessories. You can head over to the Flipside right now and pick up and watch our top 5 board game accessories. You can do that right now. Leave us a comment here, tell us what you think, and then head over there, give us a like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys and gals on the Flipside.
Get out your wallets.
Hey, everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.